Hello students, welcome back. Let's just revise what we have done in that first type. Type 1, what we did in application of derivative was based on tangent and normal, which was based on slope of tangent, right? Equation of curve, we differentiate with respect to x, dy by dx, that is change in y with respect to change in x. We consider that as the derivative function, right? Dy by dx is the slope of tangent. Now the similar concept, that is change in one quantity with respect to change in the other quantity, we are going to use for the next type, that is rate measures. Now here they are using this term rate. This particular type as well as the next type, what we are going to do, they are using the term as rate of change. Now the meaning of rate of change here is, we say that it is change in a quantity with respect to time. As you can see, right, rate of change in a quantity means change in a quantity with respect to time, or we say that derivative of a quantity with respect to time. That is what we are going to apply for this particular type. This is in general, as you can see. Here few things are to be noted, that they are using the term increase and decrease, rate at which it increases or rate at which it is decreasing. So when they use the term increase, we say that it is a positive quantity, rate is positive. When a rate of decrease, or they use different terms as rate of dropping, the rate at which it is coming downward, these are the terms generally they use, for which we use the value of that as negative. So keep that in mind. Here the term increase and decrease is very important. So while reading that question, what is asked, what is given, read it properly and use the sign accordingly. Okay, so let us start with that first question here. And you can see the question here is, a stone is dropped in a quiet lake and waves in the form of circles are generated. Radius of that circular wave increases at a rate equal to 5 centimeter per second. At the instant when the radius of the circular wave is 8 centimeter, how fast the area enclosed is increasing. Here that the question says, when a stone is dropped in a still water, you can see waves coming from that point, from where the stone strikes the water. Waves come in the form of ripples, we call it as, right? So here, and the ripples are circular in structure, you can see, and the circle goes on increasing. So here it is specified that the radius of that circular wave increases. The term they are using is increases. So here the rate is positive. Okay. So here you can see it is a circular wave. So I am using a figure here as a circle, and the term we are going to use here is R and A. So we have to assume that R and A for a particular circular wave. So here let R, A be the radius and area of the circular wave at any time t. Because it is changing, we are assuming the value to be at any time t. Okay. Now the rate of increase of radius, that is what we say, that derivative of radius with respect to time, dr by dt, and that is given as 5 centimeter per second. So that is the first value given to you. Now it is given that when the radius is 8 centimeter, the question is to find the rate of increase in area. So rate of increase in area, we say that it is derivative of area with respect to time, dA by dt. That is what we are supposed to find. Now the main part of this particular type is to know the relation between the two quantities. One in which the rate of change is given, and the other quantity in which the rate is required. That relation between the two quantity is very important. Okay, here the relation between area of circle and the radius of a circle. We know the formula is pi r square. So area is pi r square, and as it is rate of change, we are differentiating with respect to time. So in all of that, we are going to differentiate that relation with respect to time. So derivative of a with respect to t is dA by dt, and derivative of r square will come in the right hand side. As that pi is constant, it will remain as it is, but derivative of r with respect to time is dr by dt, but here you can see it is r square. So derivative of r square with respect to time is going to be 2r dr by dt. So you can see that here. So you have the values, pi as it is 2, as it is r is 8 centimeter and dr by dt is 5 centimeter. So by multiplying you get the answer as 80 pi centimeter square per second. So that gives you the answer. See, unless and until they give you the value of pi, leave your answer in terms of pi. Don't use the value of pi. Okay, so that answer you can see here, we are writing as it is a word problem, answer has to be in word statement form. Okay, so the answer is written over there. Therefore, rate of increase in area is 80 pi square centimeter per second. Okay, so that is the first sum. You can see very easy sum. Relation is easier. Okay, a similar sum here it is given, but for a different figure, right? So here you can see similar sum is in if each side of an equilateral triangle increases at the rate of √2 centimeter per second, then find the rate of increase of its area with respect to side length of the side as 3 centimeter. So here it is given for an equilateral triangle. So length of that side is increasing at a rate of √2 centimeter per second, and you want rate of increase in its area. So again, you are going to assume one of the variable as a for the length of the side and the other is area of the triangle, and you have a relation between the two. Area of an equilateral triangle is √3 by 4 times side square, and then follow the same steps. By differentiating it with respect to time, you can simplify that. Use the values given and find the answer. Okay, so similar sum for practice. Okay, now let's go to the next sum. So example 2. Here the given value is, you can see the edge of a cube is decreasing. See the term they are using, decreasing, at the rate of 0.6 centimeters per second. Then find the rate at which its volume is decreasing when the edge of the cube is 2 centimeter. So that you can see the term they are using is decreasing. So here it's a cube first of all. Okay, and right, so here two terms you are going to use is length of the side, edge of the cube, and the volume. These are the two terms you are going to use. So A and V with the length of the edge and volume of a cube at any time t seconds. Now you can see that rate of decrease of edge of a cube, that is dA by dt, derivative of A with respect to t is given 0.6 centimeters per second. Because it is rate of decrease, we are using the negative sign. Keep that in mind, we are using the negative sign. Okay, A is given 2 centimeter and rate of decrease of volume is required. So dV by dt is required. Okay, so let us start. As you know, the volume of a cube, it's a side cube or A cube you can say. So you have a relation between V and A. Now we differentiate that with respect to time. Okay, so derivative of volume is dV by dt, and derivative of A cube with respect to t is going to be, it's like again, right, U cube, or you consider it as composite function. It is U cube is 3u square du by dt. The same here, it is 3a square into derivative of a square is derivative of a is dA by dt. So 3a square dA by dt. Using the values of a and dA by dt, that is 2 centimeter and minus 0.6. The answer you are getting is negative minus 7.2 centimeter cube per second. As it is volume, you can see that. So you are getting a negative answer. That negative answer shows that the volume also decreases, right? So when we are writing the answer in terms of term decrease, we don't have to use the negative sign. We can write the answer as, therefore the volume of the cube is decreasing at the rate of 7.2 centimeter cube per second. Okay, so let's go to the next sum. Okay, question number 3. volume of a spherical ball is increasing at rate of 4 pi centimeter cube per second, find the rate at which the radius and the surface area is changing when the volume is 288 pi cubic centimeter. So here it's a problem based on a spherical ball, that means a sphere. Okay, now the term there you are going to use here is radius, volume is given, radius and surface area. These are the terms you are going to use. So let us assume for that. So let R, S and V with the radius, surface area and volume of a spherical ball at any time t seconds respectively. So these are the three terms which are changing. When the radius is changing, obviously surface area, volume are also going to change, or any one quantity is changing, corresponding the other quantity is always going to change. So that is what we are going to use here now. So we want relation between volume, because you can see the rate of increase in volume is given, dV by dt is given 4 pi cubic centimeter per second. They have given the volume also. At any time t, the volume comes out to be 288 pi cubic centimeter. Now for that, we are supposed to find the rate at which radius and the surface area is changing. So here, the rate, what is required is rate of change of radius dr by dt and surface area, that is ds by dt. These are the two values given. Remember, there is no direct relation between volume and surface area. So what we need to do is, we need to find using the, you have a relation directly with this volume and radius. So you can use volume, rate of change in volume to find the rate of change in radius, and then you can use the rate of change in radius to find the corresponding rate of change in surface area. Okay, so here we start with that volume first, because that is given to you. Using that volume, say volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. When the volume is 288, you can find the radius of that sphere. So you can just substitute the value of V, 288 pi, and by simplifying that, we are getting the r cube value as 216, which is 6 cube. So r is 6 centimeter. Therefore, the radius of that spherical ball is 6 centimeter when the volume is given to you. Now, let us start with this. We have rate of change in volume. To use that, let us differentiate this equation V equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube with respect to time. Okay, so let us differentiate. Volume derivative is dV by dt, 4 by 3 pi constant as it is. It is derivative of r cube again. So it is 3r square into derivative of r is going to be dr by dt with respect to time it is. Okay, so use the values. So 3 gets cancelled, 4 pi, r value is, what we are getting is 6 square 36 into dr by dt, and dV by dt is 4 pi. So by simplifying this, we are getting the value of dr by dt as 1 upon 36 centimeter per second. So you got the rate of change in radius of that sphere, 1 upon 36 centimeter per second. Now using that rate of change in radius, we can find the rate of change in surface area. Okay, because we have a relation between surface area and radius. So surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. Okay, so differentiating with respect to t. So derivative of s is ds by dt, 4 pi constant as it is. Derivative of r square is, first is 2r, and then derivative of r is going to be dr by dt. So 2r dr by dt. Again using the values, 4 pi, r is 2 as it is, r is 6, and dr by dt we are getting here is 1 by 36. By substituting, what we are getting? By simplifying, we are getting 4 pi by 3 centimeter square per second. That means the surface area is increasing at the rate of 4 pi by 3 centimeter square per second. So again, as I said, we write the answer at the end. The rate of increase of radius is 1 by 36 centimeter per second, and rate of increase in surface area is 4 pi by 3 centimeter square per second. Here, what to remember is, even if they don't ask you to find the rate of increase in radius, we need to find that rate, because there is, as I said, there is no direct relation between V and S. So I have given few sums of this similar type. As you can see here, a spherical soap bubble is expanding so that its radius is increasing at the rate of 0.02 centimeters per second. At what rate the surface area is increasing when its radius is 5 centimeter. So they have given radius of that circle, rate of increase in radius of that circle. They want rate of increase in its surface area. So here you are going to use only two variables, that is R and S. Rate of change in R is given, rate of change in S is required. Okay, so you just have to follow the same step. You have the formula again with you. Okay, again next sum, again you can see the surface area of a spherical balloon is increasing at the rate of 2 centimeters square per second. At what rate the volume of the balloon is increasing when radius is 6 centimeter. See here they have given the rate of change in surface area and they want the value for rate of change in volume. So as I said, there is no direct relation. Using the rate of change in surface area, first you need to find the rate of change in radius, that is dr by dt, and using the rate of change in radius you can find the rate of change in its volume. Okay, it is very much similar but in reverse order, but the method to be followed is same. Okay, again another sum which is of the same type here. The volume of a sphere is increasing at the rate of 20 centimeter cube per second. Find the rate of change in its surface area when its radius is 5 centimeter. Exactly the same type. Okay, follow the same steps and you can practice those sums. Okay, let's go to the next sum. So the next sum is, if water is poured into an inverted hollow cone whose semi-vertical angle is 30 degree, so that its depth, that is measured along the axis, depth here is increasing at the rate of 1 centimeter per second. Find the rate at which the volume of water increasing when the depth is 2 centimeter. Now here if you see this, because it is a cone, you can see that is a cone given to you. As you are pouring water into it, right, water is poured into it, at any time you can see again a cone is formed of water and you can see the surface of that water. Okay, and the surface of water is going to be what? It will be a circle. Okay, now as the water level increases, you can see the depth of water is h here, r is the radius of that water surface, and v represents that volume of water. Understand that v represents volume of water in the cone. V does not represent volume of cone. Understand that it is not the vessel. Volume of vessel is not changing. Volume of the water in that vessel is increasing. Remember that. So while assumption, you need to write V as volume of water in that cone. Okay. So here, when the depth is increasing, water level is increasing, the radius is also going to change. So that is another variable you have. Okay, so understand here there are three variables you are going to use. R is the radius of water surface, H with the depth of the water level at any time t, and V with the volume of water. Okay, so there are three values which are changing. But if you read that question properly, they have given the rate at which the depth is increasing. That is dH by dt is given to you 1 centimeter per second, right? When h is 2 centimeter, the value is required is the rate at which the volume is increasing. Volume of water in that vessel is increasing, that is dV by dt is required. So what we want here, the relation between only two quantities, which is h and v. But there is a third variable also present in this equation, right? So if you see, you require that relation between the third variable, which is the value is not given as well as not required. So you need to change that variable. Okay. So for that you need to find the relation. Here this one value is given, that semi-vertical angle. As you know, vertical angle is the complete angle made by the slant height of the cone. Angle between the two slant height. That is considered as the vertical angle. They are using the term semi-vertical angle. That semi-vertical angle is half of that. That is angle made by slant height and the vertical height. That is called the semi-vertical angle. That is alpha we are writing. Angle given to you is 30 degree. So let us use that relation, that value. As you know, in tan alpha, right? You can say tan alpha is going to be tan 30 degree, alpha is 30. Now tan theta, as you have studied previous standards, that tan theta is opposite side upon adjacent side. For that angle alpha, the opposite side is r, the adjacent side of that is h. So I am using that as r upon h equal to tan 30 is 1 by root 3. So what I am getting is r equal to h upon root 3. So we are going to convert that r in terms of h. Okay. So let us use the formula. V, that is the volume of that, as you can see, volume of water we are using here. So that also is in the form of a cone. So volume of water is volume of cone we are following here. Volume of cone is 1/3 pi r square h. As we don't require r, we have found out the value of r in terms of h. So let us use that value. As it is r square, it is h square by 3. So 1/3 pi into h square by 3 into h gives me what? Pi by 9 into h cube. So you got the relation between volume and the height or the depth of water, you can say. So these are the two variables. One in which the rate of change is given and the other in which the rate of change is required. So once you get the relation, we differentiate. So let us differentiate this with respect to t. Okay, so volume dv by dt, derivative of volume is dv by dt, pi by 9 as it is, derivative of h cube. So what is h cube derivative with respect to time? 3h square into dh by dt. You have the value of h, you have the value of dh by dt. H is 2 centimeter and dh by dt given to you is 1 centimeter per second. So let us use that values. So what we are getting is 4 pi by 3 cubic centimeter per second. That is the rate at which volume of water in that conical vessel is increasing. 4 pi by 3 cubic centimeter per second. That is the answer, you can say. Okay. Now you followed this part of it. I am giving you a similar question for practice. As you can see that I have written and I have given a hint to solve that sum. The way to solve this, partially I have explained you. Let us see the question first. Here it is given, a water tank in the form of an inverted cone is being emptied. Understand, it is being emptied at the rate of 2 cubic feet per second. The height of that cone is 8 feet and the radius is 4 feet. Find the rate of change of its water level when the depth is 6 feet. So understand, here the water was poured into the vessel. Now the vessel is full of water. The water is emptied from that vessel. The diagram remains the same. There is no change in that diagram. Now the depth is changing. It is decreasing. The volume also, obviously it is going to decrease. Okay. But the main part here, further relation is the same. Simplification is same. Volume and everything is same. Only the change is there to find that relation between R and H. So that R and H, small r and small h, as you know, depth of the water, and R represents here radius of the water surface. Now I am using capital H and capital R, which are already given to you. That is, height is given 8 feet and radius is given 4 feet for that vessel. So here you can see I have written triangles here, ABC and A', B', These are the two triangles. We can say that they are similar to each other. Using the similarity, you can use capital R as 4, capital H as 8. You can find the relation between small r and small h. As we have done here, the same method is to be followed after that. Okay, they have given the rate of change in, okay, the rate at which the water level is changing is given to you, right? The depth of that water is changing at the rate, volume is changing at the rate of 2 cubic feet per second. Volume, rate of change in volume is given. You are supposed to find the rate at which the depth of the water is changing. Follow the same steps instead of dh by dt they have given the value of dv by dt. Only the corresponding changes are to be made to get the answer. Okay, so this is your question number 4. Another sum for practice. It is similar to previous one. The little change is there. As you can see, let us read that sum. Water is being poured at the rate of 36 cubic meter per second into a cylindrical vessel. Now you can see that term used here is cylinder, right? Of the base radius 3 meter. Find the rate at which the water level is rising. So they have given rate of change in its volume and they want the rate of change in its water level. But because it is a cylinder, understand that there is no change as the volume increases. There is no change in the radius of the base. So here for this particular sum, you don't require any relation between radius and the height. Okay. So here take the radius as constant because throughout the increase in water level or the volume, there is no change in its radius. So R is to be taken as constant in the calculation. Okay. But otherwise you can use the same method what you have done in the previous sum. Only the change is no relation required between R and H, and the formula changes because it is a cylinder. Okay. Now let's go to the next. The next is here. Find all the points on the ellipse 9x square plus 16y square equal to 400 at which the y coordinate is decreasing and the x coordinate is increasing at the same rate. So let us understand what they are trying to say. The question is find the point on this curve, that ellipse here. So let us assume first that there is a point pxy here, that is the point on that ellipse. It is in such a way that it is given what? X coordinate is increasing and y coordinate is decreasing in that. So here written x coordinate is increasing and y coordinate is decreasing at the same rate. So here if I am assuming x as the x coordinate here, rate of change in x coordinate is dx by dt and rate of change in y coordinate I will say it is dy by dt, derivative of x and y with respect to t, because it is rate of change. As you can see, the relation between them is opposite. You can see one is increasing, the other is decreasing, and they have the same rate. So what relation we are going to use is dy by dt can be written as minus of dx by dt, right? Because the change in the y coordinate is decreasing. That means it is going to be dy by dt value is negative, right? Dx by dt positive, but dy by dt is going to be negative. So that is why I have written dy by dt is minus of dx by dt. Okay, so that is the relation given between the two coordinates x and y coordinate. Now the relation between those two coordinates here is that point we are assuming it to be on the ellipse, na? So I can use the equation of ellipse here. Now we differentiate that equation of ellipse with respect to t. So here x 9 as it is, derivative of x square 2x into x ka derivative is dx by dt. Same way 16 as it is, y square ka derivative 2y and y derivative is dy by dt. Right hand side constant, derivative is 0. So by simplifying, so this is 18x dx by dt plus 32y dy by dt equal to 0. I'll use the relation that dy by dt can be written as minus of dx by dt here. You can see dy by dt की जगह पे लिखा है that it is minus dx by dt. Now because it is not 0, you can say it is a change in x, na? As it is changing in x with respect to time, then dx by dt is not 0. So what I am doing is I am dividing that on both the side. So dividing both the side by 2 times of dx by dt. What relation I am getting is this is going to be 9x. The sign changes because there is a negative sign here. It is minus 16y equal to 0. So I am getting relation between x and y. So either you write x in terms of y, that is what I have written, x equal to 16y upon 9, or you can write y in terms of x, y equal to 9x upon 16. Either way you can do it. So I have written x in terms of y, x is 16y upon 9. To find that point, what we do is we substitute the value of x in the equation of curve, ellipse. So I am just substituting x as 16y upon 9. So instead of x, it is x square, na? So 256 y square upon 9. 9 square is 81. 9 9 is 81. 16 y square equal to 400. Now simplifying that, I am getting y square as 9. Y equal to plus or minus 3. So I am getting two values of y. That means I can find the corresponding two values of x. So when y is 3, x is going to be 16 by 3. And when y is negative minus 3, x is also going to be minus, that is minus 16 by 3. So we are getting 2 points on the ellipse, right? One is 16 by 3 comma 3 and the other is minus 16 by 3 comma minus 3. These are the 2 points on that ellipse. It is in such a way that the relation between the two coordinates is followed in this particular form. Okay, so that is how it is solved. That's your number 5. Now you can see similar sum I have given you for homework. There is a point moves along the curve 6y equal to x square plus 2. Find the point on the curve at which y coordinate is changing 8 times as fast as x coordinate. So rate of change in y coordinate is 8 times rate of change in x coordinate. That is the relation between the two coordinates. Follow the same steps. Take the derivative of this equation with respect to t. dy by dt is 8 times of dx by dt. That is the relation given. Use that and solve the sum. Okay, so that will give you the answer for that number, similar to question number 5 here. Okay, let's go to the next. Now the next is here a very important sum, a typical one. Okay, as you can see, question here is a man of height 180 centimeter is moving away from the lamppost at the rate of 1.2 meters per second. If the height of that lamppost is 4.5 meters, find the rate at which one is his shadow is lengthening and the other is the tip of the shadow is moving. Now understand, say this is the lamp, that height is given as 4.5 centimeter. There is a man at a height of 180 centimeter, that is 1.8 meter I have written. That's a man. Now the lamp is here, man is here, and if the lamp is on, now you can see the shadow of that man. Remember that it is always going to be at the base. Okay, don't take this CE as the shadows. You can see the shadow on the ground. The length of the shadow here, you can see D represents the shadow of that man. Okay, so here these are the values assumed. X, this I am taking it as Y, and for the tip of the shadow, you can see E is going to be the tip of the shadow. Okay, so that assumption is written. AB is the lamppost 4.5 meter height, CD is a man of height 1.8 meter, and later on it is given that the shadow is DE here. So assumption X, Y, Z, as I said, X represents what? It is the distance between that man and the lamp. Distance between the man and the lamp, that is X. Length of the shadow is Y, and Z represents the tip of the shadow from the lamp. Okay, now it is given that man is moving away from the lamppost. When a man is moving away from the lamppost, remember that the distance between the man and the lamp is changing, because the lamp is going to be stationary. There is no change in the position of that lamp. Only the man is moving away, right? So that means that distance between that man and the lamp, X is increasing. At what rate? 1.2 meters per second. So that shows the dx by dt value is given as 1.2 meters per second. Now the value required, there are two. One is the shadow is lengthening, the rate at which the shadow is lengthening. Lengthening is increasing basically, right? So here length of the shadow is y. So the rate at which y is increasing, that is dy by dt is required. That is the first part. Now the second is the rate at which the tip of the shadow is moving. Now as you can see, the tip of the shadow is going to move with respect to both x as well as y. Because x increases, corresponding y also increases. So z will depend on both x and y. So that means the next value to find is dz by dt. Okay. Now let us start with that first part. We want rate of increase in its length of the shadow. rate of increase in x is given, so we want relation between x and y right now. So what again we are doing here is we are using the similarity of triangle ABE and CDE, both are similar to each other. Okay. So by similarity I can write ratio of the corresponding sides in proportion. So AB upon CD, BE upon DE. So AB is 4.5, CD is 1.8, BE is x plus y, and DE is y. By simplifying, I am getting a relation between y and x. Y is 2 by 3 times of x. So that is the relation between x and y. We differentiate that with respect to t. dy by dt, 2 by 3 dx by dt. We have dx by dt. By simplifying, I am getting dy by dt is 0.8 meters per second. That is the value, first part you require, right? Now second part, z is x plus y. You have that relation, z is x plus y. We differentiate that with respect to t. dz by dt is dx by dt plus dy by dt. You have dx by dt 1.2, that is already given. dy by dt we have already found out, that is 0.8. 1.2 plus 0.8 is 2.0, that is 2 meters per second. That gives me the answer for the second part. So we write the answer at the end. Therefore the shadow is lengthening at the rate of 0.8 meters per second and the tip of the shadow is moving at the rate of 2 meters per second. That is how it is to be done. Now similar sum, there are two sums I have given here. One, you can see a man of height 2 meter walks at a uniform speed of 6 kilometers per hour away from the lamp post of height 6 meter. Find the rate at which the length of the shadow is increasing. It is similar to only the first part of it. Right? That man is moving away, everything is given. You require only the rate at which the shadow is lengthening. Only the first part is required over there. Now the second question, a little change in that second question is, a man of height 1.5 meter walks towards the lamp post of height 4.5 at the rate of 3 by 4 meters per second. Find the rate at which again the shadow is shortening here, and the tip of the shadow is moving. Now understand that when a man is moving towards or away, the diagram will remain the same. There is no change in its diagram. What changes is the direction of that man. The man is moving away here. Here the question number 2, the man is moving towards the lamp. That is the difference here. Here x was increasing, there the x is going to decrease. That means you don't have to take this as negative because the values are decreasing only. You can take positive and you can solve. You can write answer for both. One more thing. For that second point, the rate at which the tip of the shadow is moving, again that z is going to be x plus y only. Don't take negative sign. Remember, z is going to be x plus y. Whether that man is moving away or towards, shadow is going to be away from that lamp only. Shadow is not going to be towards the lamp. Remember that. So that z is always going to remain as x plus y. Whether that man is moving away or towards the lamp, that is calculation does not change. Understand that. That is very important part because students make mistake in this part. When they say towards, they take x, the z as x minus y without knowing the diagram. So you draw the diagram, try to understand. Diagram is not going to change. Only the change will be in the direction of that man. No other change in that solution is required. Okay, you can solve by taking positive and you can get the answer. Okay, let's see the next, number 7, question number 7. It is a ladder 10 meter long is leaning against a vertical wall. If the bottom of the ladder is pulled horizontally away from the wall at the rate of 1.2 meters per second, find how fast the top of the ladder is sliding downward when the bottom is 6 meters away from that wall. Now understand, ladder is kept on a vertical wall like this. Now we are pulling the lower end of the wall. So what is changing is the top of the ladder is going to slide downward. When you are pulling this lower end, the top of the ladder is going to slide downward. Okay, so now here the concepts, understand this, that ladder is not going to change. Ladder is going to remain the same. The length of ladder, which is 10 meters, which is not going to change, that is fixed. That is a constant, you can say. What is changing when you are pulling this x is going to increase, right? When you are pulling that lower end, x is increasing, but the corresponding top of the ladder is moving downward, so y is going to decrease. That means there is some inverse relation, we call it as. One value increases, the corresponding other value decreases. In general, we call it as inverse relation between the two. So here, what is given to you? That the lower end, here make the assumptions first of all. Here I am just naming it as ABC. AC is a ladder of length 10 meters. AB is a wall, right? So I am assuming AB to be y meters, BC to be x meters, right? Now the bottom of ladder is pulled away from the wall at the rate of 1.2 meters per second. So x is increasing. Now because it is increasing, you need to take that as positive. So dx by dt is 1.2 meters per second. Sometimes they may give you that the top of the ladder is moving, and if that is moving downward, you'll have to consider that as negative. Right now the lower end is increasing, lower end is moving away, dx by dt, that value is increasing, so it is positive. dx by dt is 1.2 meters per second. Now the question is to find dy by dt. So what relation we need to find is between x and y. So that is dx by the relation between x and y is what? By Pythagoras theorem. I can say x square plus y square equal to 10 square, that is 100. So I am using Pythagoras theorem. Now you have that x 6 meter. When x is 6 meter, corresponding you can find that value of y. So when x is 6, we can simplify and get the value of y, which is coming out to be 8 meters. So you have x, you have y, you have dx by dt, you want dy by dt. Let us take the derivative of equation. Relation between that x and y, what we have? This is x square plus y square is 100. When we are differentiating this with respect to t, derivative of y square is going to be, with respect to t, it is going to be 2y dy by dt, and x square ka derivative with respect to t is 2x dx by dt. Right hand side constant, derivative is 0. So I can divide both the side by 2. I am taking one term in the right hand side. By simplifying dy by dt, I am getting minus x upon y dx by dt. Substituting the values, x is 6, y is 8, dx by dt is 1.2, and simplifying, right, what we are getting dy by dt as, you can see there is a negative sign you are getting. You are getting dy by dt to be negative. Understand? मैंने अभी बताया आपको that as x increases, y decreases. There is inverse relation. When you are taking x as a positive value, you are going to get negative answer for that, because that is decreasing. Inverse variation में you are always going to get opposite sign. So y is decreasing, so that negative sign here, right? So negative sign shows that y is decreasing. Therefore, you can say the top of the ladder is moving downward at the rate of 0.9 meters per second. So as I am using that term downward, I don't have to use negative sign. For that answer, it is positive only. So answer is 0.9 meters per second. So another sum for practice I have given, right? A similar one. You can see what is there? A ladder 5 meter long, rests with one end against the vertical wall and the other end is on the level ground, which is 4 meters away from the wall. So this is given as 4 meters again. Now the top of the ladder is moving downward. You can see that term downward. Top of the ladder is moving downward is given to you at the rate of 10 centimeters per second. One more thing, that units is different here. This is 4 meters and here it is given in terms of centimeter. So you need to change that. So understand, you need to change this or you change this. Either of that is to be changed. Use the same unit while solving the questions. Find the rate at which the lower end is moving away from the wall. So now you are supposed to find the rate at which x is changing here. So dy by dt is given, which is you are going to take negative because the downward term is used. It is decreasing. Negative लेके solve करना है. You are going to get the value of x dx by dt as positive. Calculation से आपको positive answer मिलेगा. Okay, a similar sum is there. You can do it as homework or practice at home later on. Okay, so this completes your second type. Type 1, part B you can say, which is problem based on rate measures. They are all problem based on rate of change. The next type we are going to do is also based on rate only, but it is a typical part. We'll see that in the next lecture. Okay, thank you students.